Thank you, Madam President, Mr. Commissioner, colleagues. Permitam-me que...
Allow me to address you all, and whilst I do so, I also address the Albanian people. They have courageously and with determination persevered on the path to Europe. Last year, when we debated this annual report, we faced a very different panorama to what we are looking at today. It was darker, given the injustices that meant that the first intergovernmental conference was delayed. Now we're looking at the present and the future with new hope. The screening process is moving forward swiftly, and it is expected to be completed in record time, in 13 months. Given the level of commitment and the ability to respond, which has been demonstrated, and to catch up because of problems beyond their control, the year 2030 has been set as the target year for concluding the accession process. There is no time to lose. This report covers a number of reforms that are underway, and we have highlighted a few that we feel are important. We must see continued reforms in the areas of rule of law and justice. They must deal with the lack of human resources to improve citizens' access to justice. The fight against corruption and organised crime must be pursued, and it does continue to pose challenges. There must be a continuous process to strengthen transparency of the institutions and to strengthen democracy. There have been legislative advances in terms of protecting minorities. This, however, must be translated into real protection and inclusion of the LGBTIQ+ communities, the Roma and the Egyptian community. We reiterate the need to withdraw the anti-slander law. Freedom to exercise journalistic activities must be promoted and protected. We welcome the diversification of energy sources and a transition to renewable energies, and particularly solar and wind energy, and expedited approval of the support package to the Balkans. The Rio Vloy Park has been created. That is the first of its kind in Europe. But we do need to see strengthened environmental policies. We must demand this. When it comes to foreign policy, we mustn't forget that these are critical times when Albania has demonstrated itself as a reliable partner which is aligned with European security and defence policy, including the role it has played at the UN Security Council. The youth will play a significant role in the European future of Albania, and that is why it is important to involve youth in decision-making now. The accession process represents a social project. Everybody must be involved. Civil society organisations, individuals. The process also requires a strengthening of inter-party dialogue to overcome the polarisation that has marked political life in the country and which continues to challenge it. This process is underway. Reforms are being implemented. It is time to go beyond mere obliging by commitments. It is time to do more and to do better and to build an inspiring vision for a European future for Albania.
Thank you very much. And now I would like to give the floor to Commissioner VÁRHELYI for his opening remarks, please.
Madam President, honourable members, I want to thank our Rapporteur, Madam Santos, for the report and the European Parliament for the continued support provided to the EU path of Albania. From day one of this Commission, the Western Balkans have been our priority. This common work and commitment have brought progress. Since last year's debate, there is a fundamental development. Nearly a year ago, we opened accession negotiations with Albania. This was a major step for the country and a clear recognition of Albania's progress in advancing on its EU reform agenda. The screening process is well on track. Delegations from Albania come well prepared and actively engage in the discussions. So the screening is proceeding smoothly, and the Commission will present its screening report to the Council within days. We took positive note that the recent local elections on the 14th of May were held in calm and transparent manner on the day of the vote. According to the preliminary findings and conclusions of OSCE ODIHR, the extended election observation mission, the local elections were well administered, competitive and held with the participation of the country's key political forces. This is a significant improvement compared to the boycott that we have seen in 2019 at local elections. The Commission encourages the Albanian authorities to address all outstanding recommendations of the OSCE ODIHR, as well as from the Venice Commission in this regard. To this end, we call for a constructive and inclusive political dialogue from all sides. The Commission concluded in its last year's report that the functioning of the judiciary in Albania is moderately prepared. Albania's legislative and institutional framework on judiciary has a high level of alignment with the EU acquis and European standards. Since then, the vetting process is proceeding well, with 82% of the magistrates now vetted in first instance. Following new appointments of judges, the High Court has reduced the backlog of the cases and reached the quorum to make appointments to the Constitutional Court. The last vacancy at the Constitutional Court was filled in December last year. On fundamental rights, Albania maintained overall a positive direction with an overall robust legislative framework in place. However, there is still a need to continue progress when it comes to the implementation of the fundamental rights, especially in the areas of minority rights, property rights and media freedom, as well as the protection of personal data. Some progress has also been made on the fight against organised crime and the fight against corruption. The Specialised Structure for Anti-Corruption and Organised Crime Court, the SPAC, delivered several important decisions affecting also high-level officials, including a former Prosecutor General, and we expect continued progress in developing a strong track record on final convictions in corruption cases, notably at high level and in organised crime cases. Further, let me again commend Albania's continued alignment with the EU's restrictive measures and sanctions against Russia, maintaining the 100% alignment to our common foreign and security policy. Albania continues to use its ongoing term in the UN Security Council to respond to the crises along like-minded countries. This proves that Albania has shown its determination to advance on the EU path and is a reliable partner. The European Union has been the most important partner of Albania. Albania has received continuous financial support with the aim to boost its resilience, including through the Economic and Investment Plan and lately through our energy support package. Allow me a short update on this one, the energy support package. Between February and May this year, we have disbursed 90% of the €500 million budget support to mitigate the increase of energy costs, both for small and medium-sized enterprises and also to vulnerable households in the Western Balkans. In this context, Albania received €72 million this spring to subsidise energy prices for households and for the SMEs, and to provide financial aid to the vulnerable persons, and to diversify its energy sources through new wind and solar investments. Albania has come a long way on its path towards the European Union, showing persistence, in pursuing difficult reforms in the interest of the Albanian people. We would like to see the country entering the next phase of the accession process. Notably, we would like to have the next intergovernmental conference to open the first cluster on fundamentals still this year. Thank you very much.